What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Emphasis on Sports. As usual, I'm your host, Damon Anthony. We're going to chop it up and then talk sports. We're going to stay inside the lines. That's the emphasis. Like and subscribe if you're new. If you're listening via podcast, we're available everywhere where podcasts stream. Check us out. I'm going to drop a couple times a week. You might just dig it, right? So look, NFL season, rolling. We wrapped up week 3. We know after week 3 kind of what some teams are looking like. There's some teams that we know it's a wrap. You're done. We're building for next year already. There are some teams that came into the season that way. We know that. When you look at a New Orleans, you look at a Tennessee, you look at a Carolina. Those are teams that they weren't walking into the season with expectations of being into the playoffs. They're walking into the season with expectations to get better, to build. Meanwhile, we do have some teams hit that 3-0 threshold. Some of them, my squad, I'm a big 49er fan. A lot of injuries. A lot of people could look at it a little bit as fool's gold. 3-0 is 3-0. I'm not going to say that the 49ers look like a world beater or anything like that. They're 3-0. Meanwhile, you do have some teams like Buffalo sitting at 3-0. They look like a world beater. The LA Chargers, they look for real. So week 3 has taught us some things. As we move on, we really won't know what a lot of these teams are for a couple weeks. Then they're really going to set into who the hell they are. But through week 3, we do know some things. And week 4, we got some games. We definitely got some games. And we're going to break all of them down and predict all of them. All right. This will be, I believe, a fantastic week just in terms of matchups. There's some really good matchups. There's definitely, I don't care, nobody cares game of the week. Definitely. You got 0-3 versus 0-3, and one of these teams looks like they may be in for a big time retooling. And then there's matchups that, as a football fan, you dream about. You just know you're going to watch. Some great storylines. Let's start with tonight. So tonight, we got an NFC West matchup. The Seattle Seahawks at the Arizona Cardinals. Currently, Seattle, they look good, 2-1. Arizona, 2-1. Both of those ones against San Francisco. I digress. But the line on this one currently is Seattle -1.5. Seattle, to me, has just looked like a better team. They've been putting up some good numbers. The last couple of weeks, go over that 30-point threshold. Last week they went over the 40-point threshold. And the first week, they just didn't fare that well because San Francisco actually had a pretty good defense to play with. Meanwhile, on the Arizona side, Arizona is a team that still has a lot to work on. In some instances, catch the ball. Just catch the ball. But in some instances, they're going to have to figure out how Trey Benson is going to work with the rest of this offense now that James Conner is down for the season. That's going to be something that I think everyone needs to keep their eye on. Like I said, current line on this one is Seattle -1.5. Give me Seattle. There's no reason I feel like Seattle is going to go in and win this game. If you're telling me that they can win it by a field goal and cover, I'll take it. Moving on to Sunday morning. One of my favorite parts about football nowadays, those overseas games. I love the Europe games. I can care less who's playing in the Europe games. It gives me the reason to get up first thing and just start watching football on Sunday. Where I'm at now, I'm in Central Standard Time. This game starts at 8:30 in the morning where I'm at. So I have football solid from 8:30 a.m. to about 10:30 p.m. I don't know if I'll be able to hang, but I damn sure am going to try. So Sunday in Dublin, Ireland, got the Minnesota Vikings at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Minnesota looked really good last week. Carson Wentz at the helm. He'll be at the helm again today. That offense was kicking a little bit. Jordan Mason did his thing. Meanwhile, Pittsburgh, their defense took a little better form in your typical Pittsburgh defense last week. Creating 5 turnovers, only giving up 14 points. We know what Wentz is and we know what he isn't. The Pittsburgh defense should do pretty well in this game. The current line on this one is Minnesota -2.5. Give me Pittsburgh straight up. I will take Pittsburgh any day against this Minnesota team. Think it being in Ireland is going to get all of these players on both sides to raise their level of intensity. And if that's what I'm going to take, give me Pittsburgh. Next game up, Washington Commanders at the Atlanta Falcons. Last week was a tough one for Atlanta. Atlanta lost 30-0 to the Carolina Panthers. that actually raised a lot of questions, a lot of eyebrows. Is Phoenix ready? Is that team ready to take that next step? I don't think they are. Current line on this one is Washington -1.5. Give me Washington. I believe that this is going to be a 2 to 3 touchdown game. Atlanta showed absolutely nothing last week. Meanwhile, Washington, without their starting quarterback, with Marcus Mariota at the helm, put up numbers against the Raiders last week. I believe something similar is going to happen this week. Give me Washington minus that 1.5. Then, scary hours. Got the New Orleans Saints visiting the Buffalo Bills. Current line on this one is big. Buffalo, minus 15.5. Give me Buffalo. A lot of times when there's a big number, you want to go against that number just because it's so big. But I just saw New Orleans going to Seattle and get absolutely crushed. Seattle beat this number last week with no problem. Buffalo's a much better team. Buffalo's at home. I believe that they're going to beat the shit out of the New Orleans Saints. Give me Buffalo minus the 15.5. Then we're going to have the Cleveland Browns at the Detroit Lions. Pulled off a miraculous victory against the Packers last week. There's a lot of questionable things that happened there. Meanwhile, Detroit, they walked into Baltimore, punched Baltimore in the face, kept punching, and walked out with a victory. Turn line on this one is Detroit minus 9.5. Since it's at Detroit on that fast track, give me Detroit. Cleveland is going to walk in with an outstanding defense. I think we all know Cleveland's defense is just fine. Offensively, I don't think they can keep up with Detroit. I think Detroit is spread enough with all the talent that they have that they should knock this one out. 9.5 shouldn't be a problem. This should be a 10 to 14 point game easily. Give me Detroit. And this one is one of those that could be close to a nobody cares game. But there are some signs of hope from these teams. You got the Carolina Panthers visiting New England Patriots. The Patriots do look like a team that's putting themselves together. Yes, they had 5 turnovers last week against Pittsburgh, but they look like they're heading in the right direction. Meanwhile, Carolina was a surprise last week, dropping that 30 piece on the Falcons and winning that one 30-0. So this one is questionable. I don't really know what's going to happen. Current line on it is New England minus 5.5. I'm tempted to take New England. I'm going to take New England only because they're at home. Give me New England. Give me the points. Then we have the Los Angeles Chargers at the New York Giants. Current line on this one, Chargers minus 6.5. Give me that all day. As we all know, this week, Russell Wilson was benched for Jackson Dart. Hey, look, Rook, time to get it going. So now you're going to have a rookie in there against a pretty good defense. And that offense has been steady, just a steady offense. Not great, not world beaters, just steady. But I believe that offense at some point is going to explode for a lot of points. May not be this week. Give me the Chargers to drop a bomb on a rookie in his first start and the Giants. Chargers minus 6.5. Then we have a game. Now we're going to get into some games that I think are just going to be really cool, really spectacular to see. So this one at that 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock early window, you got the Philadelphia Eagles at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Both teams walk in undefeated. The current line on this one is Philly minus 3.5. Give me Tampa. I like Tampa to win this one straight up. Nothing against Philly. Philly, as I've talked about on previous pods, Philly is a team. They're champs. They're going to find a way to win. They're going to find a way to be in the game. I'm seeing nothing but that, so I can't take anything from that. But Baker is also finding a way to will Tampa Bay to win. Tampa is a very solid team. They're a little bit hurt at receiver with Mike Evans, but I think that they're going to hold it down just enough to pull out a late field goal and take this one down. Philly at Tampa, Philly minus 3.5. Give me the Bucks straight up. Now, this one, another one, could be real close, and nobody cares, but I'll give a little care here. We got Tennessee Titans at the Houston Texans. Current line on this one is Houston minus 7.5. Give me Tennessee on the backdoor cover. I think they're gonna keep this one relatively close. Houston right now, they're not really showing anything. They're not winning. They're not doing great. But the reason why I think the interest is here on this one, everyone is expecting a little more from Houston. If you can't get it done this week, you're dead to me. You're dead to me. And this one, give me Tennessee to cover. Give me Houston to win straight up. They'll win. I just don't think they'll cover. Now, another game, just super interesting. Super interesting. I cannot wait to sit down and have this on a screen. Just have this one on a screen. Indianapolis Colts at the LA Rams. This one is super interesting because the Colts are walking into this one 3-0. It's been a while. Been a while. I believe over 15 years since the Colts have started the season 3-0. Plus, you have Indiana Jones, Daniel Jones, actually really doing his thing as a quarterback. Jonathan Taylor keeping everybody honest at running back, and their defense is coming. This team is putting up points, and they're putting up points fast, and they're having no problem smacking people around. Now, they are going to visit LA. LA is coming off of giving up a devastating defeat last week. They had that game against Philly in the palm of their hands, fucked it up. No other way about it. So I'm expecting the Rams to come out and want to put up some points, want to shoot it out a little bit. Current line on this one is Rams minus 3.5. Give me the Colts. Straight up. I like the Colts on this one. I really do. Their time is coming to lose some games. I just think they get the 4-0 right here. Then the game, I know for sure I'll be locked in watching. The Jacksonville Jaguars are going to go visit Santa Clara at the San Francisco 49ers. Current line on this one, San Francisco minus 3.5. Hey, look, it seems like Brock Purdy is going to be back, even though Mac Jones has been holding down. Niners are 3-0. Everything has been working however it can. Yes, a lot of injuries. I'm a 49er fan. What are you going to do? That's what happens. But the team is still clicking and winning. Meanwhile, with Jacksonville, they look like a fine team, but they're still Jacksonville until they run off a bunch of wins versus top tier teams, or even close to top tier teams. They're the Jags. Line on this one is San Francisco minus 3.5. Give me the Niners. Give me the Niners by a touchdown. No problem. Now, here's another one. I'm telling you, I'm going to be hurting. I'm going to be hurting around this time. Chiefs. Both of these teams are walking into this game 1-2. That's a lot. One leaves 2-2. One leaves 1-3. It's going to be a real tough, hard-nosed game. Current line on this one, Baltimore minus 2.5. Conventional wisdom says to take Baltimore here. I'm kind of conventional. Give me Baltimore minus that 2.5. I just think that right now they're better than Kansas City. Once Kansas City gets their wideouts back, I think that they'll have no problem matching up with damn near anybody. But right now, I like Baltimore, especially coming off of the way that game came down. I think Derrick Henry is really going to try and put the team on his back. He's fumbled every week of the season so far, and that's not normally his style. I think that's wearing on him. And I think he's going to come out, probably drop a 160, 170 piece. And I like Baltimore to win this one. May not be big, but they're going to win. Then we got the Chicago Bears at the Las Vegas Raiders. Current line on this one, Raiders minus 1.5. Give me the Bears. Nothing against the Raiders, but the Bears put together a pretty good offense last week. Granted, it was against Dallas, but once you start doing that in a game, things start to click. Meanwhile, the Raiders, I don't think that they have a true identity yet. You got Ashton Jitty there. We're not getting him the ball enough. You got Bowers, but then what else do you have on the outside? So defenses can key a little bit and just hope that Trey Tucker doesn't go crazy. Just hope Jacoby Myers doesn't go crazy, and then they can win the games. Las Vegas got smacked around by Washington. I believe they're going to lose to Chicago. May not be huge, but Vegas minus 1.5. Give me the Bears. Then Sunday night. This one may get ugly. This is another one of those. I'm so glad that this is all on the same day. Got the Green Bay Packers at the Dallas Cowboys. Micah Parsons coming back to Dallas to try and sack Dak. Will it happen? I believe so. Micah's cold. Dallas line, terrible. Dallas's defense is terrible also. Remember, last week, Packers lost to the Browns, who had a really good defense. I believe this week they're trying to rebound. They're going to be trying to put up a 30-40 piece against Dallas. And if Dallas can't get it together, that's exactly what's going to happen. I don't think that they could put up the same points that Green Bay can. The line on this one currently, Green Bay minus 6.5. Give me the Packers. Moving on to Monday. The first one, Monday. First game. There's 2 games on Monday. The Nobody Cares game of the week. Week. The New York Jets go to visit the Miami Dolphins. Battle of 0-3 teams. Yes, this is an AFC East divisional matchup, but this is one the sporting world doesn't care about. I think the only thing that anyone cares about is if Mike McDaniel is going to get canned after this game. I don't know where to go on this one. Miami is favored by 2.5. I'm just inclined to take the home team because they're at home. Neither one of these teams are really that good. I honestly think the Jets have a bigger upside because this is a team with a new quarterback, with a lot of younger players, refining how they're doing things. You look at Miami, this is a team that's been together for a little bit. Tua, Tyree, they've been there with the coach for a little while. They're doing nothing. Devin, A-Chain, everyone loved him. Kind of nothing right now. This is going to be an ugly game, especially for a Monday nighter. I honestly can care less about this one. I'll pay attention to this one so I can talk about it on pod, but give me Miami. Rounding out the week, got the Cincinnati Bengals visiting the Denver Broncos. Current line on this one, Denver minus 7.5. Give me Denver. Cincinnati's offense without Joe Burrow has looked terrible. Has looked like I'm back there quarterback. We're not seeing anything from Jamar Chase. We're not seeing anything from T. Higgins. Chase Brown is carrying the ball a million times and probably getting maybe half a yard every time. The Bengals, they need help. I don't know where they're going to get it from, but they need help. Meanwhile, Denver looks like a very solid team. They look very solid. The defense is pretty good. Yes, they lost last week to the Chargers, but the Chargers they're a really good team, and that's a division matchup. I like Denver in this one. I like Denver kind of big to round it out. It's going to be a hell of a week in the NFL, and I can't wait. Other football things, college football. Got a hell of a weekend in college football. The Saturday slate, there's 4 games that I need in my life. One of them I'm going to miss, but I got to work. But you got number 21 USC going to visit number 23 Illinois. This one is an early game. This one's going to be tough. I like Illinois at home because it's early. One of the things I don't understand when they did all this realignment and like USC went and joined the Big Ten. Well, USC is in LA, all the way to the West Coast. We could talk about all the rivalries and all of that, but I believe that that's a team that if they're playing on the East Coast or in the Eastern time zone or wherever it is, make it a midday game. Make it a midday game. There's nothing wrong with that. If you make it a midday game, that's just like an early game on the West Coast. Now you're starting this game to where it would be like 9 in the morning on the West Coast. How's that working? How are those players ready? I digress. Not my thing, but I like Illinois there. Then we're gonna have number 4 LSU going into Ole Miss. Number 13 ranked Ole Miss. That one should be a hell of a matchup. I like LSU there. LSU has looked pretty good this year. I think they're going to continue that. I think they're going to smack around another SEC foe. And we're going to have number 6 Oregon going to visit number 3 Penn State. This is the game of the day. I think this game is going to be spectacular. I think this is going to be a shootout, a slugfest. I like Penn State only because they're at home, but I think there's going to be a fair amount of points scored in this one. Kind of track meet style. Can't wait. At the same time that this one's going, you got number 17 Alabama going to visit Georgia. Number 5 ranked Georgia. Give me Georgia. I saw what happened with Alabama first week of the season against FSU. Not saying that they haven't recovered because they've been fine. Georgia ain't none of them other teams. I think Georgia's going to win and then handle it in this one. Give me Georgia all day over down. Other sporting news, WNBA playoffs have been great. The day I sat and watched both the games back to back, the Fever had a ridiculous game. I've been liking everything I've been seeing in the WNBA thus far. Both of these series are knotted up 1-1 on Friday. Give me the Fever. They're going to be at home. I think the Fever are going to go up 2-1 in this one. Now, yes, this is a 5-game series, so it's not like it's over, but I'm just going to take the home team in their first game home. I think that they're going to rebound from their loss and get it in. Next game up, Minnesota Lynx at the Phoenix Mercury. Give me the Lynx. The Mercury were down, I want to say 20 in the second half the other night. Stormed back and actually took them down. Forced overtime, took them down. I don't think that happens this time. I think Minnesota comes back with vengeance, and I think they knocked them down a peg. And then that's just going to be 2-1, 2-1. I have to see what happens after that. But give me the Aces. Give me the Fever, and give me the Lynx. Let's move on to the MLB. We know the playoffs are around the corner. Love it. Baseball playoffs are actually really, really exciting. Not the play-in stuff. That shit is terrible. First, when you get to that first actual round and you start building from there, especially because it's outside, it's at night. When you get those late inning pops and the crowd is going nuts, you feel that. You feel that at the house. But taking a look right now at the standings, currently leading the East, tied for the lead in the East, Toronto Blue Jays and the New York Yankees, both have clinched playoff spots, but they're just sitting at the top of the East. I would actually like to see Toronto take that one just because they have a younger team. It will be cool seeing some of the players that are on Toronto, seeing their dads pop up at the game, Dante Bichette, Vladdy the Laddie Guerrero. That would be really, really cool to see. Yankees, they're just fine. Can't really count them out at all. Only 4 games left in the season, so that's going to be tough. If you look at the top of the AL Central, Guardians 1 game up on the Tigers, 1 game up, 4 games left. The way the season started, you thought that the Tigers were world beaters, and I'm gonna say in June, Tigers looked like they were just going to take everybody down. Let's march right to the World Series. Let's get the trophy. Huh? They've fallen off. Guardians have fallen off. Currently, the Guardians are up on that one. No one's clinched. No one's clinched a playoff spot in that one. So that one's still wide open. Then you got the Mariners already clinched the AL West. They've been absolutely rolling. They've been rolling. It's been a long time since the Mariners have been this good. I'm gonna tell you, been paying attention for a while. I love to see it. In the National League, Philadelphia Phillies wrapped that up a long time ago. They're going to move on into the playoffs. I believe they're going to be a very, very tough out. NL Central, you got the Milwaukee Brewers. They've already wrapped up their division. Right behind them is the Chicago Cubs. They're in that wild card position. They have wrapped up a wild card spot. Just don't know what order that is yet. And then in the NL West, the LA Dodgers tied, not tied, but the LA Dodgers are battling with the San Diego Padres. Right now, they're 2.5 games up. There's only a couple games left, 4 to 5 games left, depending on the team. So that one's going to come down to the wire, but both of those teams have already clinched playoff spots. Just not sure if it's wild card or if they win their division. If you look at the wild card race in the American League, currently the New York Yankees, because they're tied with the Toronto Blue Jays. If they finish with the same record, Blue Jays will win that division. Yankees will be in the wild card. Yankees are locked into the playoffs regardless. The next 2 teams that can really hold down those wild card spots, Boston Red Sox, and then the Detroit Tigers. If Detroit doesn't overtake Cleveland. So what you could actually have is the AL East. They could have 4 teams in there. If they do, probably none of them will win the World Series. That's just kind of how it rolls. You look over at the National League, so far, Cubs, Padres, they've locked in playoff spots. We just don't know their positioning. And then the Mets are a half game up on the Cincinnati Reds. It would be kind of cool to see the Cincinnati Reds charge and get into the playoffs. Rabid fan base. They love their team. Their team just can never get it together. So that would be real cool to see. Don't know if that's going to happen, but stay tuned. Stay tuned. Everything that I've talked about here is telling you this is going to be a memorable, fantastic, great sports weekend. And me, this guy right here, cannot wait. I'm locked in WNBA Friday night, locked into college football Saturday night, locked into the NFL Sunday, Monday with one eye, my good eye. That'll be locked into Major League Baseball because playoffs are on the way. That means everything is about to be spectacular. All right, y'all, man. Y'all have a fucking fantastic weekend. We'll talk about everything that happened this weekend when the weekend's over. Until I see you again, y'all be good, and I will holla.